Now, David, good news. You're back on Twitter.
I'm back on Twitter. I'm really very chuffed. Albion_Rover, at Albion_Rover is back on Twitter. I had 14,000 followers when they threw me off and suspended me 2 years ago. 13,000 are still there, so thank you for all of that support. And a special quiz here. See if anyone's of enough of an aficionado of 1980s television to understand why I've got a picture of Ian Cuthbertson playing Charles Endo Esquire to celebrate my return to Twitter. One person who did get it asked me whether that meant that Alex Thompson was budgie, which I thought was quite astute. So the advantage of being back on Twitter is you can get messages out much more rapidly. Now, one thing we had here, we had a Freedom of Information response by NHS Lanarkshire, pointed out by David Tate, one of a regular UKCom contributor. And the information they have published, which we have to take at least for the moment on face value, on early pregnancy losses, there's a sudden doubling in 2022, which is simply astonishing. Now, I asked them the question, basically what's happening with this figure. Now, the advantage of Twitter is that that's received 432,000 so far tweet impressions and nearly 11,000 engagements. So it does get the message out. The actual figure may or may not be correct. Here we see Professor Norman Fenton, also UKCom contributor, and again via Twitter, actually highlighting this figure, and he's saying there's something very strange going on. There's been a worrying drop in the number of live births and an increase in neonatal deaths, but a doubling of miscarriages in 2022 doesn't seem possible. It might be a reporting error. We are trying to get to the bottom of that.
Okay, now tomorrow at 1 p.m. On the live stream, we have a video interview with you and Claudio Grass.
Yeah, so Claudio Grass is based in Switzerland. He deals with hard money, gold and silver, real money, and he also knows a thing or two about the Swiss banking system. And we're going to be talking about money and banking and the nature of the Swiss banking system and many other interesting topics. So please join us for that.
And then another upcoming video is the SNP Explained.
Yeah, this has just gone out. I was a guest on UKaForceForGood's channel, and I wanted to talk about what the SNP actually was. So I hope people will check that out. We have a small clip. My basic thesis was that the SNP now is not the SNP of old. What we now have is something where they have only one unifying idea, which is anti-Britishness. They don't agree on much. The only thing that holds them together is this anti-Britishness. And I go on here in this little clip to explain some of the strange contradictions that come from that. This is one of the points that I try and make in the column, is you can't look for a politician to do it for you. You can't look for a leader to actually come and lead unless the people are at a point where they'll respond. Right? We have to be knowledgeable about who we are as a nation, what we believe in. We've got to discuss it. We've got to come to some reasonably harmonious agreement as to what it is we are, what Britain means. But one of the things that always annoys me about the nationalist idea is they try simultaneously to say there are no borders, right? Because the nationalists don't believe in borders. We will have immigration without limit. If you listen to them, everyone can come to Scotland. Everyone's welcome. We're just so wonderful, right? That's what they actually say. Whether they'll do it's another matter. But Ireland's doing it. Ireland's got some serious problems in this area, right? And so they say but we don't want borders. We don't want any borders anywhere. We don't want any separation between one sort of person and another. But we're nothing like the English. That's just one of the contradictions. I go through quite a number of them in that talk, so hopefully people will check that out.
Okay, now at the weekend.
And finally,
Yes, sorry, I was just going to say at the weekend, the Scottish Vaccine Injury Group rally took place, the Unity rally took place in Glasgow on Saturday. Well, we had a representative there because you weren't able to attend this, but Di is coming on extra with us.
Yes, Di will be joining us. She was there all day, and she's joining us to talk about it this afternoon. And there will also be video and interview footage from that we'll be publishing in the next week or two.